This week, a hot new bombshell enters the villa.
And the hot new bombshell is...
Drum roll, please. The Wings That Bind by Briar Boleyn. Please enter our villa, aka the Literary Just Told You studio. We're so excited to have her here. Is it a she? Do you think the book is a she or a he?
Oh, definitely
Or
a
are they?
she.
Or are they?
No, a she.
A she. What makes you say that?
Because books are great.
Books do give like feminine energy to me.
Yeah.
I think because they're like.
I think films are a he.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, you know what, I just realised that I also might be biased because in Polish language you do have...
Yeah.
So books is a she.
To be honest, I see that. I think
Book is a she, sorry.
I think books are a she.
Yeah.
They give off female energy to me. So I'm going to agree with you there.
Okay, perfect. We are off to a good start then.
Yeah. No disagreements here so far.
Oh, yeah.
Until the recoupling, obviously. Then we might be scrapping over who gets the bombshell. Maybe I'll pull her for a chat.
Yeah. Well, right now I'll pull you for a chat.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
So talk to me. What did you want to have a chat with me about?
Well, obviously about the book.
Okay. So if you haven't already gathered today, we're talking The Wings That Bind by Briar Boleyn. This is the third book in the Bloodwing Academy series. It came out in April at some point. If you haven't read the first two books, I'd maybe avoid this episode. Go read them and then come back because we are about to spoil like a whole ass book. So maybe do that first before I get Olive to take us to school because... Basically, I'll tell this story first, but I couldn't remember for the life of me anything that happened in the first two books. So I read about 100 pages. I did not have a Scooby what was going on. I was literally so confused. Luckily, Olive took one for the team and reread the last few chapters. And then school was in session. We had a full whiteboard up. She was being a teacher. If you haven't seen it, go find it on TikTok. You have to post it now.
Yeah.
Find the lesson on TikTok. This is exactly what you need before you get into reading because we had arrows, we had diagrams. It was color coded. Like, I think I need this before every next book I read because honestly, I get amnesia and I can't remember anything.
That's actually a good idea for TikTok series, you know?
What, like doing recaps? Yeah. I think you should bank that.
Yeah.
Anyone that's on TikTok, you didn't hear that, so don't steal this idea. But it actually really helps me because I couldn't remember anything. So...
Well, this one we posted without the sound because it wasn't official.
Yeah.
But it's a preview. Subscribe for more.
Yeah. Plug. Okay, right. School is in session. Talk to us, teacher. Recap. Like, where are we? Where are we starting? What the hell is going on in this book for anyone that needs a reminder?
Yes. So, book 2. We are left on a massive cliffhanger. Everyone is either dying or dead or something else. So the plot wraps up in the Dragon Court where Medra is being tricked by Rodriguez, Cage and Blake to turn Nyxaris. Nyxaris? This is how you pronounce it.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's how
This is how we're going to go with it. To put Nyxaris back into stone as he was originally, as everyone believes that he is some sort of threat and is not going to help anyone's cause, allegedly. So they drag Nyxaris and Medra to the Dragon Court to perform the ritual. As they are there, a lot of things is happening at once. Blake's little sister attacks his cousin, Theo, who came to check on Blake with Florence. As a result of that, she's killed by Theo, who tried to protect everyone from her.
God bless Theo.
Yeah. His brother Marcus appears with Catherine, who's the head of one of the houses, House Mortis, and with... What was her name?
I don't know why you're looking at me as if I'm ever going to remember. It's on the whiteboard.
I don't remember the name right now, but with the sister from the house, Orpheus house.
Yes.
So I know that the guy is Lysander and she is...
Oh my god. It's really going to annoy me.
You know what, let's just put our minds to rest.
It's in the video. Should I...
No, it's the girl from Orpheus.
Yeah, but it's on the video, because I took the video of you on the whiteboard.
No, I think it's literally, there's no name there.
Oh, Lysander and sister.
Yeah. What does Solo wear? That's not this one. Okay, but I know where it is because, what's her name? Florence gets her... Lunaya.
I wouldn't have got that, so.
Yeah. So, Marcus appears with Catherine, who is from House Mortis, and with Lunaya, who is House Orpheus. And Lunaya doesn't seem herself. And then we realize that Marcus soulbound her to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they need her to wake one of the dragons. And so they're gonna wake Molindra. However, it turns out that the ritual that they performed to wake Molindra is not the same as they performed accidentally, as Medra performed to wake Nyxaris. As Molindra is essentially a live dead dragon, so it's necromancy. She does not actually unturned from stone to a live state. She's just a corpse turned moving, breathing-ish.
It's quite disturbing.
Yeah, it is quite disturbing.
To be honest.
So some sort of battle starts. Then we also find out that Cage can shift into wolf.
That's cool. I like that part.
Yeah. And so Aenia is dead, killed by Theo. The dragon is dead but alive. Lunaya is not herself. Catherine and Marcus have alliance. And who else is there? Rodriguez, Blake, and Cage are all in cahoots as well to turn Nyxaris back into stone. And then Florence appears with Theo to check on Medra, and she gets caught up in crossfire. And she is very heavily wounded and might die. And in the middle of that, Blake somehow turns up. He doesn't have an eye, and we find out that when he was gone, he was confronting his uncle Victor. They also fought each other, and during this fight, Blake changed into dragon, so he is also shapeshifter like Cage, just a different animal to keep it spicy, I guess. So then Marcus and Catherine and Lunaya take off on Molindra the dragon. However, before they do it, Medra stabs the dragon with a dagger that her mom's consciousness was in. And now the mom's consciousness is not longer in the dagger, it's in a dead dragon that is not dead anymore. And as they fly away, Aenia is dead, so technically like the immediate danger disappears.
Yep.
And Medra and Blake beg Nyxaris for help to save Florence, as there is some sort of ritual that will require Nyxaris' blood to make sure that Florence is not going to die. And he graciously agrees. However, at the point of the end, when the book 2 ends, we don't know if this ritual worked.
Cool. So, starting book 3.
That was really, I kind of didn't, you know what, I just didn't see anything. I just went into some sort of trance.
Okay. So, start of book 3. We've got the people on Molindra, they're gone.
Yes. Catherine and Marcus. And
Medra is pissed off at Blake because Blake betrayed her, because he got her to the Dragon Court to try and turn Nyxaris back to stone. So Medra is pissed off at Blake. Florence may or may not be dead. Yes. Cage is the wolf now. Regan is also now betrothed to Victor.
Yes.
Basically, we're just in chaos, and that's where we pick up. So we kind of get thrown in like what's happening here. So what was your first impressions of picking up book 3 after that ending of book 2? And did you have any expectations when we first went into it?
Well, I think I'm going to talk a little bit more about it when we will summarize it. But I was hoping that certain things will start getting a little bit clearer, because, you know, there is a lot of things going on for sure. And I don't think we're getting any closer to the resolution. There's lots of questions, there's lots of plot points, but we are kind of uncovering a layer after layer, but there is no sort of connection between them, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I was hoping that we're going to just get closer a little bit to... Well, obviously we know that we can expect some sort of rebellion and overturning Victor and all of that.
Yeah.
And I think in book 3 we are at the point where we have to start making moves towards it. Because, you know, book 1, introducing everyone. Book 2, showing that, yeah, he's bad, and, you know, people start realizing he's bad. Book 3, we need to, you know, make them go through something, kick the shit off. Book 4, dead.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a 4-book series. So that was my expectation. But what about you?
Well, I'm going to be totally honest with you. If you couldn't already tell, I picked up this book stupidly without your recap and without school being in session. So my first impressions were I don't have a clue what's going on. Like, who are these people? Who is Melindra? Like, what are all these names? I honestly did not have a clue what was going on for the first 100 pages. And I know this is my fault for not rereading, but I also think there is an art to writing a long series and like putting in something within those first kind of 100 pages that jogs your memory.
Mm-hmm.
So my first impression was we were literally just thrown into the deep end, and I was like waiting for it to click and to be kind of like drip fed the information and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember this, I remember that. That just didn't happen to me. I was literally so confused. And I was quite excited actually because our friend Chloe also was reading it, and she said the first chapter is from Neville's point of view, the Fluffin. So I thought, oh, this is great because he's never had a POV before, so he must be doing like the recap or something, because sometimes they do that in these fantasy books. He did not do a recap. And then I just felt more confused. And then we started getting POVs that we've never had before as well. So then I was like, I need some semblance of like reality and like what the hell is going on here, because I was just so lost. And I can't lie, without your school, like I actually don't think I would have made it through that book any the wiser. So for me, my first impressions was that was entirely chaos after the chaotic ending of book 2. And I just didn't really understand like where we were picking up from and like what was the point. Do you know what I mean? Because the end of book 2 was so chaotic. For me, I had no vision of like where we're picking up from. So I think that also made it a lot harder at the start to actually like get going. So my first impression was literally confused.com. I'm hurting my brain. I'm questioning like, did I even read these books? Because I did not have a clue what was going on, like at all. I couldn't remember why Medra was mad at Blake. And she kept talking about how he betrayed her. And I was like, surely I would remember, like this sounds serious. Yeah. But it just wasn't like, yeah. So that is maybe my fault, but I also feel like there needs to be some sort of recap in the start, you know? But there we go. Is there anything that actually hooked you in? Because, I mean, I was confused, but like you actually knew what was going on. So was there anything in those first 100 pages that actually like kind of caught your attention? Or you can say no.
I think I found it quite interesting because we then start with Regan's chapter. So that was interesting to see her POV. But then as the book goes on, it was a bit of a cliche ending a little bit. But we can dive into it straight away if you want to. But I was kind of I didn't know what to expect. But when I saw that it's her chapter and the way she spoke and all of that, I was like, oh, she's gonna be quite interesting.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about her then, because you are thrown in quite harshly into her reality, and I can't lie, that was like a jump scare as well, because I forgot that happened. So if anyone is going to reread, let's just remind you that Regan?
I'm saying Regan.
Regan, all right. Regan is betrothed to Victor at the end of book 2. So you might be slightly disturbed by their relationship in the very early chapters, so be warned. It's nothing graphic, but if you're not expecting it, like, it's kind of
a lot
gross, to say the least. So obviously we come into her and she's framed as having a redemption arc of some description.
She's at that point she's set up for one, kind of.
How did you feel about that at the start?
At the start I kind of liked it because it was more of a, I don't know how to say it, that she did this for petty reasons, technically. Like, it was obviously never... So the reason why she agrees to go through with being with Victor is to save her little brother, but also it is a bit petty. Yeah. And I kind of like that, you know, because I don't like all those noble characters who do bad things for good reasons, because it's just getting boring a little bit. Like, it's 26, come on now. And it's also not young adult book, do you know what I mean? We are complex adults. We can think for ourselves, and we know that not everyone is good and bad all the time. So that was quite good for me that she basically admitted that, oh, I did it because I felt humiliated and I wanted power. Yeah. But then she started losing me a little bit.
Do you think Did you think that learning of her redemption arc felt like it was earned, like at that point? Or like, were you happy with the way
the
that
redemption
it
was earned?
Yeah, as in like how quickly we jumped into like seeing that side of her. Did you think that felt earned?
No.
I agree. I think she does deserve a redemption arc, but I think that does she have any POVs in the last book? I can't particularly.
And the second one?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. So I think for me to have like buy into this redemption, I would have liked to see that like quote like bad side of her head more, rather than just like jumping straight in and being like, oh no, like I'm just doing this because of my brother and blah blah blah. Like we know that she's not a particularly nice character in the first 2 books, and that's fine, but like for me it just felt a bit cop out, like to just jump straight in and her to have all these reasons as to why she behaved that way. I would have liked to go through her head and her like angst and her there's just no other word, like her bitchiness, and like slowly unpick that. Like I'm just thinking, for example, like Nesta in A Court of Silver Flames, like her redemption is so well earned because you start in her head where she's like not very likable, and then she like slowly unravels, whereas this was literally just like we opened the page and all of a sudden this girl is like 75% on her way to being redeemed because she's got all of these like valid reasons for behaving the way that she behaved. And that felt a little bit like, oh.
Yeah, I agree. It was a letdown because I also didn't expect to hear from her. I thought she's gonna be villain all along, which is fine. But and like it's gonna just backfire, but that we're not gonna see this side of her. So I had high hopes, and I also kind of wanted to see a bit of, because as you say, she's not a particularly nice character, and I think if we already built a character like that, it would be good to give them a little bit of this bitchiness, but like just being a bad bitch.
Yeah.
Like use those qualities that you used to squash someone else to actually be good.
Yeah.
Don't be, and she's being positioned as a victim straight away, and yeah, it's just, but anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, because also she's not a victim.
Yeah.
Like she's put herself in a bad situation, but she is not a victim. Like So I just felt that we just jumped into that too quickly, and we've not actually seen her grow.
Yeah.
It's just that she now has excuses as to why she behaved that way, but nothing, it just felt like a bit of a jump for me too quickly. I prefer things to feel a bit earned.
Yeah.
But
what would you say about her and her relationship with Cage?
So that really like came out of left field, out of the middle of literally nowhere. But I kind of like it. I can't lie. But then I don't know if I'm like actually invested in them two as a relationship. I think I just like that plot point more so. Like their actual characters, if I deep it, like they're probably not who I would have chosen for each other, if you know what I mean. But I enjoy the plot point. So I think the plot for me outweighs their actual relationship, if that makes sense.
Right.
But I do kind of like it, but I'm just not committed to her character enough to really know, because I think her redemption arc has just thrown my perception of her character like completely out. So now I'm a bit like, I don't actually know what I want for you, or like who I want for you. I don't really know if you match his character, because I don't particularly feel like I understand her anymore. So I don't really have any feelings about the relationship itself, but I'm excited that it's in the plot because I think that's a good storyline to follow. What did you think about it?
I kind of agree, but at the same time, when you mentioned that you're not sold because of her, I also don't think we know anything about him either. I don't think we had a chapter from him either.
No.
So I think it's also quite difficult to root for them because we don't really know much about them. But at the same time, for me, it's a bit weird because it's supposed to be kind of slow burn, and when they, for example, they never really kiss or anything, they just it's like very spiritual, let's say. So that's kind of set up for slow burn, but then it all escalates so quickly.
Yeah.
And all of this is so strange to me when everything starts to wrap up and they are in the Avari Tower and he is so protective and he jumps at Theo and says, don't speak like that to her. And I'm just like, also, maybe that's the point, that it's supposed to show that how overwhelming this feeling is for Cage to act that way, but at the same time, I just don't think Cage would act that way because he seems to me so cool, collected and confident and very keeping his cards very close to to him. So this sort of behavior for me, it's just a little bit out of character. And yeah, and they just don't know anything about each other. And also, didn't he want to kill her like 2 books ago?
Yeah.
And he literally just appears and he says all those things that, like, how much pain she is in, all of that. I'm just a bit like, wow, where did that come from? Why are we here?
Yeah. I fully thought that he was going to end up with Florence. So when this whole thing started with him and Reagan, I was like, what? I was like, no, this is like not the vision I had in my head. My vision was Blake and Medra, Florence and Cage. Because there was obviously that point in the earlier books where it seems like we're toying with the idea that Medra could end up with Cage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I personally didn't really like that combo of them two.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy that didn't pan out that way. But, yeah, I think that Cage and Reagan just came, like, so far out of field that, like, I think it's really nice. And I like the way that they've, like, connected, like, through her, like, loneliness or whatever. And he's trying to see the good in her. But it just everything just feels rushed. I just don't understand how we got here in literally like 100 pages.
Yeah, but Bernie points for the idea because I think that's a good relationship. I agree with your point completely.
Mm-hmm.
That it's good for the plot.
Yeah, I really like it for the plot.
But at the same time, I don't feel very strongly.
Yeah. Do you think that her relationship with Cage is supposed to kind of help us like her more?
Yeah, and I think he's supposed to be the catalyst for the change as well.
Yeah.
To kind of show her that there are bigger things
Mm-hmm.
than power and stuff.
Yeah.
Because obviously this is about her brother as well, but I think he is supposed to be this wake-up call, basically, to be like, oh, you know, he's not going to let him go anyway. Yeah. So you might as well do the right thing. You might as well be on the good side.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah. What else? Was there anything
Speaking
else?
of... Oh, okay.
No, sorry.
Well, while we're on romantic relationships, what would you say about Medra and Blake?
Do you know what? I am so happy that they're not at each other anymore. Like, I honestly, I don't think I could have taken it anymore. But then I was also kind of annoyed that literally all it took was... So just a reminder for everyone, I actually do remember these points, that in books 1 and 2, a lot of the source of Medra's frustration was about being in a triad. Is that what it's called? Yeah. A triad. And that she didn't want to be Blake's when Blake wasn't hers. And she had all this, like, angsty annoyance about that, like, power dynamic, and that he had, like, power over her, but she had, like, nothing over him. And, like, she didn't like this whole sharing thing. Completely fine. But, like, we went through 2 books of this. And then all it took in book 3 was her literally just to be like, stay or mine. And then he was like, you're mine. You always have been anyway. And then it was just over. Like, we went through 2 books, and that's all it came down to. She literally just in, like, the heat of the moment, like, after their, like, reconciliation of her saying that, and then it was over. I was like, are you joking? I went through 2 books just for it to boil down to, like, after sex you just said, like, say you're mine. And do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy that I'm not dealing with their, like, back and forth anymore.
Yeah.
But I did just think, like, I feel like the amount of investment I had into this drama just made it seem so petty because of how quickly it was just resolved. Just, like, with the blink of an eye. They're good now. And now they're, like, together. That's it.
I remember when I was trying to record my review of the book 1, and I will just repeat what I said back then. I just don't see the connection between them. I mean, after book 2, I kind of do. But at the book 1, when she was lasting over him a little bit, do you know how it always is, that they're enemies to lovers, and then the guy will do this one thing that will soften her, and then there will be, like, more of his human, like, good side and all of that. And I think the only one with Blake was that he had the fluff, and she was like, oh yeah, you mine now, like, I'm into this kind of thing. So I've always felt... I'm happy that they're together because, I agree with you. I just can't with back and forth anymore. Yeah. They're like this one couple at school who breaks up, and every time they go to a party, there is a domestic. And and then they get back together next day. And
somehow they manage to, like, stay together for 5 years during school. And then, like, they go to uni, and then you hear they break up, and you're like, fucking finally. Yeah. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of read half of it. Like, I read first half over a couple of days, and then I read the second half over 2 days, like squeezed it in. And I think this book wasn't that much about them as well. Obviously, the
No.
first two were very focused on them, but now we have more POVs. And the second part, they really didn't appear much.
No, they literally had the few chapters at the start, then they get to the point where they're like, okay, we're like exclusive now, whatever, we've ironed out our differences, and then that was it. They're just living somewhere else, just living happily ever after or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was just not, I don't know, like, I'm very happy that they're together because I don't think I could have taken this drama any longer.
Yeah.
But it just didn't, after all of this fighting, like, I was expecting there to be some kind of big revelation or some sort of, like, all of this was for something, and it just felt a bit like, oh, like, you literally could have said this in book one, you know, there wasn't really need for this. And I don't particularly feel like either of them have grown that much as characters either to get to the point where they're ready to be in that relationship. Like, they still kind of feel like the same people that they were in book one, which is as well why I maybe feel that it's not that earned that they're now together, because I feel that they've both not really put the work in.
Yeah.
It's kind of just been a consequence of her own coping mechanism is like through a physical relationship with him, and then she's just twigged in her brain,
Yeah.
oh, actually I want him. I don't know, it's just not quite there. But it's such a shame because I like the plot, like that, the concept of it I really like, but just the execution is just not there for me, I think.
Speaking about reconciliations and breakups and triads and changing partners, there is one big change that happens, which is Medra and Nyxaris are no longer bonded. And now, due to the ritual that was supposed to save Florence's life, she is bonded to Nyxaris. Did it come as a shock to you?
I mean, them not being bonded, no, that didn't, because I feel like that was quite clearly teed up.
Set up for this, yeah.
At the end of book 2. What I think was more shocking is a bit of a dramatic word, but a bit more shocking to me is that obviously they had a bond and it's really strong, like the rider and dragon bond, and like they went through a lot together in the first 2 books, and then all of a sudden for that bond to now be with Florence, like that's absolutely fine. But to me it felt like Nyxaris literally just threw Medra in the bin. Like he just didn't give a fuck that they were bonded before. Like, he had no consideration for her. Like, it's over for him, it's done. And I think that's quite sad, because I think at the end of book 2 that was quite emotional when she's asking him to do the ritual to save Florence. Like, to me, I felt like he was really deeping that, like, about the bond and stuff. So I just thought a bit like, oh. And I really liked him as a character, and then this just kind of made me feel a bit like, oh, like, she just meant nothing to you. These bonds just mean nothing, because you'll just quite gladly just not care about her at all anymore. And I thought that was kind of sad.
Yeah. I think at this point, now you said it, because I have a lot of things to elaborate on that, but I think this is a good time to bring up something we spoke about before, that there just seems like there's no consequence in writing in this book. That it seems that there is an idea that comes up, and then we just run with it, but there is no effort to incorporate it into the plot. And for example, things with Nyxaris as well. The fact that there is apparently just a constant memory loss in a Hall of Sangratha all the time, and this is a cop-out. So every time, for example, when something is mentioned, he's like, oh yeah, I remember it now, yeah, the memory is coming back. But somehow he didn't have them before, or that all this dragon honor that he can't say certain things until the time is right. All of that. And I think also my point is, we're in book 3 and the whole dragon thing just seems like a big problem and a big inconvenience to everyone. It's actually not incorporated in the plot and into the main, what I think is the main plot line, which is overruling Victor. It seems like he's not used at all.
Yeah.
He seems like a massive inconvenience, and we spend more time on his conversations with Florence, or in the past Medra, and the witty comebacks and his honor and his pride than we actually spent on the purpose of his presence in this story. Because for me, realistically, there's no reason for him anymore. Like, the story would be pretty much exactly the same,
Yeah.
apart from the ending of book 2, if he never appeared.
Yeah.
Because they think Medra is a rider even before she has a dragon.
Yeah.
That's it as well. So that's how I feel. But also then, for me, transition book 2 to book 3, it just feels terrible as well, because I don't understand how Victor and Blake have this altercation, and again, there's no fallout.
Yeah.
There's no consequence.
Mm-hmm.
They have no conversation after. How?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is what, like, everything just happened so abruptly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, yeah, particularly Nyxaris and Medra, I just, because, not to compare, but, like, I don't know, I'm just thinking, obviously, you know, in Onyx Storm, where Violet and Dana, like, break their bond, like, that is, like, traumatizing, and it's so sad, and Violet is obviously, like...
broken.
Yeah, from it, and you, like, go through the emotions, because you also felt like the strength of that bond.
Yeah.
So I was expecting something kind of similar, because the bond felt really strong between Nyxaris and Medra, and her begging him at the end of book 2 felt really significant to me. So the fact that we just opened up book 3 and, like, whatever, moving on, he's, like, devoted to Florence. And also, he's, like, way more devoted to Florence than he was to Medra.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of sad, because I think his new relationship with Florence, like, undermines basically everything that happened in book 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, what do you mean he's just jumped ship? Like what? It just, it's just a bit frustrating that was just, like, a click of fingers, and we've just made a switch.
Yeah, but also, then again, the whole point of keeping Medra alive is that she's a rider, she has a dragon.
Yeah.
Why? And obviously everyone was all over her and proving to everyone that she has control of her dragon. How everyone left her for like weeks after the bond switch that nobody realized.
Yeah.
And when they did find out, why was it not a problem anymore?
Yeah.
That Victor disappeared? Because when they said that Victor disappeared, I thought he just disappeared and we're not going to hear from him until he, like, walks in with an army.
Yeah. Or
something, that also Regan's not going to see him. That he just vanished from the face of the earth and is going to scheme behind the scenes. That's why he didn't take any action.
Mm-hmm.
But then Regan says, oh, yeah, he did punish me again. And I'm like, what's happening? Why he is not acting upon that?
Yeah.
And again, you can argue that, oh, it's because then Medra is a leverage to control Blake, which is fine. But why there's no just nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, everything just happens and then we move on.
Yeah.
It's strange. But on Nyxaris and Florence, what are your thoughts on that dynamic? I feel like it has to be addressed.
It's weird. At the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I do agree that the switch and his dedication to Florence undermines everything that happened with Medra. But I think that also kind of has to be, in a way, natural plot point, like a development that this bond has to be stronger.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
If we're going to go with it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I kind of liked that he was bringing this brave side of Florence.
Yeah.
And that I think was also very good for her character development, to make her a little bit less Hermione Granger, even though Hermione is very brave as well. But that's not, not just bookworm, book smart girl. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, this is, she has to have some sort of survival skills if we want to make believable that she makes it through this book as a human girl. So that was really nice. But then it just got weird.
Yeah, and no, it does get weird. It does get very weird. And I'm really, really hoping, for, like, everyone's sake, that Nyxaris is actually a shifter, and that Nyxaris actually can, like, be in, like, human, well, not human, but a human form, because
for Florence's sake, I hope so.
I think she would be in the hospital.
For context, if somehow you read this book and you don't see this, there is some sort of sexual tension between them. He's very possessive of her, and it's not just protectiveness, making sure she's not gonna get hurt. He's genuinely possessive, and she has dreams about him and his voice that make her clench her thighs when she tries to get excited about Cage. Somehow she hears Nyxaris' voice in her head. Yeah, it's a lot. And again, I know it's always the quiet ones, but the fact that it's also Florence, who is just so pure and innocent, and we just make jokes, about Medra wearing Blake's shirt and being embarrassed to tell the Florence, this innocent flower, that what does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
And Florence like, oh no, don't worry, I read so many romance books. And I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, I really hope Nixaris can shift, because I don't need to be traumatized. And also, I'm really hoping that it's foreshadowing, because you know when Blake like freaks out that he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have like dragon babies. And who is it that says to him like, chill out, that's not gonna happen unless you decide to mate like with a dragon. And he's
Rodriguez.
yeah, and he's like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Because he's like concerned about like impregnating Medra with dragon babies. So I'm hoping that this is like some sort of foreshadowing. Like, please, God, do not, no, like, no, I can't do that. But actually on that, you mentioned about Florence and Cage. How did we feel about that triad being set up?
What was the fucking point?
Yeah.
Just why?
Yeah. Do you know what? When it happened, I was like, oh my God, like, how could I forget that they do triads? Because when Cage was with Reagan, I was like, wait, what? I thought he was going to end up with Florence, because I just completely forgot that they work in threes. And then obviously then he gets betrothed to Florence. And I was like, oh my God, like, I've been an idiot. Like, of course, Cage, Florence, and Reagan are going to form a triad. Like, I'm such an idiot. And then I got really excited because I was like, this is quite cool, actually.
Yeah.
Like, this will be a really cool story. And I think, like, between Florence and Reagan, like, that could actually be, like, very interesting for a plot. And, like, the character development opportunity there was really good. And then, like, 2 pages later, it died a death. And I was like, what?
That was so boring. And also, you know what? The thing is as well that they made this whole song and dance about it's to protect her from Victor, to protect her from Victor. Victor didn't even fucking appear in between there.
Mm-hmm.
He made no claim. Even Reagan didn't mention that Victor even knows about it.
Yeah.
Oh no, she did, because it was about the engagement ball and that they threw a fit about using the... And also, I think the idea was to make it seem that Cage is super devoted to Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was supposed to be, again, this slow burn, this big love, this forbidden thing, but you know, that they will always love each other quietly,
mm-hmm.
sort of notion. But why?
Yeah, the whole thing is like, she needed to be betrothed to protect her, but then he just broke it off and was like, we'll always protect you. Like,
and also the fact that she's so unconcerned. She's like, okay, you don't have to be my boyfriend anymore, fine.
Yeah, like, what? Like, your life is literally being threatened. Like, I know you're thinking about the dragon, but, like, come on. I was quite disappointed because I actually got really excited at the end of that chapter, because I was like, for God's sake, how did I forget that they form threes? And then it was just cancelled.
But see, again, I don't have a problem with it being cancelled. Just the way it was all done.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what you say. There's just so many good stuff in there. But why is it done like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it means I don't have any buy-in for any of the points now. Because they've all just been, like, cut off. Like, I don't feel invested in any plot point right now. Because they're all just... I get my hopes up and then it's just like...
Yeah. Do you know how, for example, with... Again, we're going to use the next song because this is the only book about bonding with dragons we've read together. That you can make some educated guesses and then you have the satisfaction of, like, yeah, I was right. Here, I can tell you that there's going to be, in book 4, there's going to be aliens, and it's possible at this point. And it's really sad because I think the imagination and the concepts are really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. It's...
And you know what's also sad? I think I would also excuse it because obviously it started as self-published series, but it got picked up by a publisher. Why there is so many people in there? Because those books have to go through hundreds and hundreds of edits. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, that's a full-time job for someone. How? Nobody thought, I think I have to, you know, backpedal here and just...
Do you know what it feels like? Have you seen that Mr. Men? And it's like Mr. Stressed or something, and he's just like a ball of like squiggles. Did you ever read the Mr. Men books? Are they not a thing in Poland?
No.
Okay. Well, listeners, if you aren't Polish or if you are Polish and you have heard of the Mr. Men books, let us know. Mr. Man, who is a squiggle, he's like, I feel like it must be. Oh, here we go. Okay, I don't want Chrome. Mr. Messy, like that is him. That is his person.
Right.
Like he just is this like squiggle.
Okay.
But it can kind of be animated, so it just like squiggles around, right?
Right.
This is how this book feels. And like, as books go on, like, this should unravel into like a straight line at some point. I feel
Or
like
solidify in the circle.
yeah. With every book, it's getting more squiggly. And there's just no, like, I don't know what's going on. There's too many things and nothing is getting wrapped up. And like, as you said, there's no satisfaction on any of the plot points that we're getting because they're just overturned in like 2 pages. So your like hopes and dreams are just flattened, or things are just like complete U-turned and you're like, why did I just spend 2 books like invested in this thing just for it to just be cancelled like that?
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Like, for example, why we have the whole thing with the mom and the dagger not being the dagger anymore. Then she visits in dreams and then she just pops into her head. How?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but about throwing a lot of things in the mix.
Let's
There's
add another one.
Which is, turns out, Victor's a dragon.
Yes.
Talk to me. Surprised, not surprised, happy, not happy. Where do you think it will lead us?
So I wasn't surprised because Blake's a dragon. So like it kind of makes sense in my head that like if Blake is a dragon and Cage is a wolf, my thought process, and let me know if you're thinking along the same thing, that each house is going to have some sort of shift
Yeah.
associated to them.
I already have a counterpoint to that.
Oh, please.
Why the fuck everyone has a dragon then?
Yeah, agree. I also agree with that. But I think that each house must have some sort of animal. And there was no way that Blake is the only shift person. So it made...
Wasn't his dad also a shift?
Probably. Who knows at this point? But I wasn't surprised that he was a dragon. And because Blake's a dragon, that's his uncle, like, you know? It just made sense to me. I wasn't particularly shocked. The only thing... Oh, actually, no. I wasn't shocked. I was kind of glad, though. I feel like it adds a bit of spice to the mix because now it's like, oh, okay, like, Blake can't just be in dragon form and kill his uncle. Because that also would have been a disappointment. Like, you know what I mean? If his uncle didn't have some sort of resource to fight back.
Yeah, but then he didn't have this resource. He didn't turn at the end of book 2. And I was also like, what do you mean you are a dragon and you couldn't just eat him?
Yeah. Did you think that it was were you surprised?
I'm not gonna lie, at that point I think nothing in this book will surprise me anymore because just those things keep jumping from behind the corner all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a bit, okay. And as you say, that I just can't get attached to anyone anymore because they don't feel real.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know they're not real because they're dragon vampires and stuff, but
yeah.
I just can't form any emotional connection with them. So it didn't really, no.
Do you think that there was foreshadowing for him being a dragon outside of the fact that Blake is a dragon?
No.
Because obviously in books 1, more so in book 2, I'd say, there is foreshadowing for Blake being a dragon.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mention of like his skin looking weird and like there's a lot of those things that make you question that. And like his eyes, there's a lot about his eyes being a bit odd. I don't think there is with Victor, though I do think there is some sort of significance to the fact that he's got black veins. You know, his dragon is red with black veins, and the blood that came out of those people at the end when they were all like zombies.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that, but that was my next point, yeah.
They all have black blood.
Yeah, so just a quick reminder if anyone forgot to throw another thing in there. At some point in book 3, we have this thing that there are rumors about high bloods getting infected and going berserk and crazy and killing everyone for no reason. And yeah, as Bex mentioned, when then they get killed, there is black, rotten blood coming out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very concerning because high bloods never get sick.
Yeah, and they only target other high bloods when they're like in this state of being like a possessed zombie.
Yeah.
That's how I pictured them anyway.
And you can infect other high bloods by biting them.
Yeah, which is a bit funky.
Impractical.
A little bit funky. So I think that he has obviously been infected, or he is the infector.
Yeah.
Because he's got black veins. So that I think there's some sort of significance to that.
Yeah, I agree.
But other than that, I don't think there was any that I can think of any foreshadowing of him being a dragon outside of the fact that Blake is a dragon.
No, and I also don't understand this either. This raises so many questions. Like, First of all, if high bloods can turn into dragons, why do they need control of the other dragons? If they surely can just yap to them through being a dragon. Why they were not killed or turned into stone, even by an accident. Yeah, how did it... I hate when... This is actually my pet peeve in fantasy books, and I'm really, really happy that it never happens in the Academy, for example, that it's a very complex world. How you can have magical creatures and then also turn to magical creatures. What is that about?
Yeah.
So either they will all turn up to be humans, which again, not humans, but in the human form.
Yeah.
Which again, or what? I'm confused. I'm very confused. I don't understand. And also, like, how you become one as well. Because surely we already have 3 characters who can shift.
Yeah.
Why is it the common knowledge?
Yeah. It's...
And also, if it's some deep secret within families, why Blake wasn't privy to that? Why does Marcus need a dragon where he might be a dragon himself?
Yeah, I don't... Honestly, I wish I could give you the answers. I honestly don't have a clue. Yeah, it's a bit chaotic, in all honesty, and it's a real shame because...
You know what else bothers me? Victor as a villain. I don't understand what's so bad about him, apart from him just kidnapping people and then blackmailing other people with kidnapping the first people.
Yeah, I mean, he's not actually, like, doing anything other than being there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
No. And also, it doesn't make sense that everyone kind of knows that he is bad and he thinks he has most of power and uses this power that he has, yet nobody feels inclined to do anything. Yet, for example, Lady Avari took a stand when it came to the ball venue.
Yeah, I don't know. Like...
And you know what, at this point, it's just so many question marks that we forgot even about the first one that the book started with. How and why Medra ended up there.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd find that out because I'm still, honestly, the more we talk about it, the more confused I'm getting. I really thought I was stupid when I didn't understand the first 100 pages, but now the more we talk about it, I'm like, well, obviously I didn't understand it. Like, what's going on?
It's a separate blackboard for the whiteboard for that.
Yeah, like, what is actually going on? I feel like I'm in a black hole of chaos in every direction. There are it's like we're trying to do so many things that we're not actually doing anything. That's how it feels. I feel like I'm in a hamster wheel and like I'm just having like plot points thrown at me, but I'm not moving any further forward on this hamster wheel.
You just keep tripping over each of them. Well, that's how it feels.
Oh,
it's really such a shame.
You know when you're in a game, I think we've used this one before, but you know when you're in a game and you get to the end of the world and your character keeps trying to walk, but they can't walk forward because you're at the end of the world, but they keep stepping.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm in this world and I just keep stepping forward and nothing is happening. But like, it won't tell me that I'm at the end of the world. Like, I can't turn around because my sim only moves forwards. So I'm just like stuck. Oh, God. Anyway, is there anything more on Victor that you have to add?
No, because that's what I mean. We just don't really see the guy.
Where do we think he's gone?
He didn't go anywhere. That's the whole point.
But this like vanishing thing.
No, exactly. He just goes home.
He goes home, puts his feet up.
This is how it feels.
Makes a cup of tea, reads his book.
So, who took a nap today?
He wakes up in the morning, makes his to-do list, like, kidnap this person, tick.
But at the same time, another thing, that they just try to squish those blind bones, these human children, all the time so much. And again, I don't understand why, because there's already such an injustice, and I don't understand what's the gain.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I could tell you.
Because it's not like in, let's say, Harry Potter, when they have to use mud bloods because they have this obsession with pure blood, and realistically, but there's no dependency between mud bloods and wizards. Like, wizards can kill all mud bloods and be fine.
Yeah.
High bloods can't do that because they have nobody to feed from.
Yeah,
and there's already this power dynamic. So with mudbloods, they have to show that, you have to turn towards them because they actually are dangerous and they can kill you. Or like in Bloodwing, everyone knows that light bonds are not stronger and everyone already picks on them.
Yeah.
And then it's already enabled. Why enable it more? And like,
yeah,
that just doesn't add anything to their lives. it adds to the plot that they are discriminating them and that that Regan is evil witch and doesn't care. But apart from that, what's the...
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know.
Okay,
Right.
do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think
Okay, because I have one good thing I want to say.
Please share.
So we kind of obviously spoke about Regan and all of that, but I actually really like the ending of her. That I think if her redemption arc was just that she didn't do anything good in between, she was always a bitch, and then did what she did at the end, which is bid Victor.
Yeah.
I think that was really badass moment.
Yeah, I did like that.
And that's a very good ending for her. I don't know if she will die or not.
I don't think she's gonna die.
You see, I think she might, because I think it would be a little bit rinse and repeat if we again leave them at the end like that. Like with Florence.
Yeah.
And also I think Victor wouldn't let her go. And I think it's a bit useless to go through all of this trouble to then get her back with him.
True.
As a prisoner. But then I guess it gives Cage some sort of personal vendetta now, so...
Yeah. So what is your prediction?
Maybe she turned to a cat now.
She could be a cat. I see that for her.
She also makes some dragon blood and so she makes some dragon blood with some wolf blood. I thought about, do you know how in the Shrek?
I was about to say this. Yeah, the donkey.
Visual.
The donkey dragon babies. Yeah. Oh God, that would make this even more unserious. Do you have any prediction for her? Are you predicting that she's dead? I'm gonna throw it out there. I think she's alive.
I kind of want her to be dead.
I think it'd add more spice if she was dead, but I don't think she is.
Yeah.
I think she's alive.
Oh, sorry. Another good thing I wanted to say that's very there is continuity in all three books. Neville the Fluffin, that actually they do mention that he in book 1 they mention have some healing powers, and then we come back to it throughout other books, and I like that because it's just like a seed planted, and then we actually come back to it, and it is information you have to remember, and like you do get this payoff basically.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So can we just like get more of that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There is so much potential here.
Yeah.
So let's, before we end up in like even more chaos than I currently feel, let's move into our final verdict. Where do you rank The Wings That Bind? What is your starring?
2, and I'm being generous here.
Yikes! Is that your lowest book club? Is that your lowest book club?
I think so. No, I think my Christmas one was lower.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But if it wasn't, then can we dunk that down? Because
we can go back and have a look.
Yeah, but then I would like to change my previous one to lower. But yeah, I'm really sad because also I remember when I picked up the first one, it was supposed to get me out of my slump, and it was supposed to be a comeback to fantasy, and I just love dark academia and this whole vibe, but it just it misses the mark for me. And there's just, I think if it was just rubbish, I actually said to Becks this morning, I was like, I don't think I wanted to DNF it. But then I'm also like to be educated hater, so, and that makes me feel somehow better to have some constructive criticism and to have that I have to read it. So it's really sad because there's just so much good stuff, so many good stuff in there, and it could be really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. I gave it a 3.
Wow.
I know, but do you know what? I did enjoy the middle. The middle had a lot of promise for me. The first 100, not a clue. The middle, I was like, okay, we're actually getting somewhere. This feels like we might be making some moves. And then we got to the end and it just died. But do you know what? I feel like I'm giving it more because I really see the vision. I really like a lot of the plot points. I just think the execution is just poor. But I just feel bad because it has so much potential. So for the potential, I do give it stars. And maybe that's bad for me, but I also feel bad because it's not awful. Like 3, that's just average. That's how I feel. It's a bit average.
Okay.
But I do think, though I feel like maybe after talking about it today, my opinion has gone down a bit. But I just think, yeah, it left a lot to be desired.
Look, I know people who also like this book, and that's fine. Like everyone, I know lots of people who would say the Academy is rubbish because it's cringe and stuff. Everyone has their own cup of tea.
Yeah.
So it's fine. If you enjoyed it, good for you. I'm really, really happy.
If anything, I'm jealous. I wish I could be you.
Then I'm happy that we picked this book club book and you didn't suffer, and that's great. I don't mind if I suffer.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, that's great. If you love it, fantastic. The 4th one is coming up. That said, I will read the fourth one because.
Oh yeah, I will read the fourth one. We're 3 books in at this point. I need to know, and I'm ever the optimist. I do believe that book series can be redeemed, so I will hold out for that. And I do believe that there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. I hope. But do you know what? I don't think it's all that bad because I think this has been I've actually enjoyed our discussion, even though we've been not so positive about this. This has been an enjoyable experience for me. So I think
we should do this at this point. We should do that in February? Maybe now. We should do how many books out of all the book club books so far you liked. Because we are halfway through the year since we started recording, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think we're maybe 6 or 7 books in. We should see how
we're faring.
Yeah, because I have deja vu that this sort of conversation happened before.
Yeah, I think it probably has. But do you know what? You win some, you lose some. But moving on from that, let's talk about what we've got in store next month. Because I'm really excited for this one. I think we're both really excited for this. So there is hope in the world. Talk to me about what we're reading next month.
So let's hope that you have been following along for a while and that you are all caught up on all the past book clubs because you're making a comeback. In October, we read Diabound and by Sable Sorensen, and we're making a comeback with Furybound, which is coming out on the 5th of May. Becks and I are actually going to the event to get our special edition books, and I think there's a goodie bag or a tote bag.
I think so. I think we opted for the expensive ticket.
Yeah. I don't remember if it's a goodie bag or if it's just a tote bag. What is included in it? Don't remember.
A bag of some sort.
Yeah, a bag with definitely will be a book in the bag. So yes, and we are very excited because that was one of the newer fantasy books that we quite liked. So can't wait for that.
That one was a pretty successful book club. So I have high hopes for book 2 because book 1 ended pretty well. So stay tuned. Go buy your Furybound copies on the 5th of May, and we hope that you didn't leave this more confused about Bloodwing Academy because I fear we may have...
We hope somehow we made you feel better than worse.
Yeah.
Unless you liked it and you didn't, sorry.
we've just put some bad juju on the book you liked, but hopefully not. So come back on... What are we talking about next week again? Rebellion and Hunger Games. So come back, we're talking Mockingjay. We're talking Mockingjay next week or some point in the future.
Yeah, at some point in the future.
Yeah, at some point in the future we will be talking about that. So make sure you come back and let us know what you thought about The Wings That Bind. Because I'm very intrigued to see how other people found it after our experience.
Yes.
So, on that lovely note, love you, bye!